So what do you know? Tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw was surprisingly very well. It was very well done. A lot better than my good buddy Chase Oliver 68 would say. He said to me on Twitter. A lot better than that weird themed 3 hour, that weird themed, episode of Raw. But they didn't call it Raw. They called it Battleground or something. And it was on the network. Yeah, that was really bad. But here, this was actually good. Not everything was perfect. There was a few, but for the most part, it made sense, and it was pretty good stuff. So apparently, it's going out filming a movie. It's called Trainwreck, which pretty much describes John Cena's acting career. Yeah, but yeah, since WWE's got too lazy to mention it, they're not mentioning it at all. So how do we kick off the show? We got coming to the ring, saying that he's gonna announce the #1 contender for the World WWE World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam. It could be anybody, but he makes a handicap match for the Demon Cena and Chris Reigns. And, the handicap match was alright. It wasn't too shabby. Um, obviously, with Roman Reigns winning, just proves that the push, Roman Reigns continues. It looked good. It was an alright handicap match. I'm not a huge fan of handicap matches. I thought they were okay. This was okay. It was okay. It makes me think to myself, though, okay, is Roman Reigns feuding with Randy Orton or freaking God at SummerSlam? Or hell, no WWE, they would make it both. No WWE, they'll make a 3-on-1 handicap match. Remember back at TLC? You had 2 3-on-1 handicap matches. I can actually see that now. Oh, Lord. Don't do that, WWE. Don't do that. So then we have, basically, Nikki Bella getting her ass kicked again. And since John Cena, Superman himself, was not there Monday Night Raw, he will not be mentioned as voting for Boyfriend of the Year award because he wasn't there. So, how can you vote for someone when he's clearly not even in the building? So, you can't vote for him. So, sorry. Well, with that being said, you had a 4-on-1 Diva handicap match. Eva Marie, Cameron, who apparently thinks she's a schoolgirl now, Alicia Foxy, and Rosamund Petty-Cross, versus Wonder Woman, Big Titty Bella, Nikki Bella herself. And before the match started, it was actually kind of interesting because you saw Brie Bella, who was there. By the way, the crowd in Miami was actually pretty good, a lot better than the Tampa crowd. Brie Bella was there. She was there as a fan. She bought a ticket and she hugged Nikki. It was all cute and everything. It was good to see Hippie Bella there. And then the Queen of Queens comes out and basically, she wants Brie to be escorted out of the building despite being a fan. Brie gets on the mic, and this guy right next to Brie, this is like the highlight, alright? This guy who freaking, Brie, he's all happy next to Brie, he's like, they call him the Brie guy, he's like really happy, and has like this pedophile, sex offender face right next to him. She's like, really creepy. I was like, dude, what the hell is wrong with you, man? But he looked really happy to say the least. And, Brie calls her, a vindictive bitch, and the crowd went crazy. Stephanie slapped her. Brie got escorted out of the building. And then out came the handicap match. And Nikki got her butt kicked, basically, in a short amount of time. Had a little nipple slip there, not complaining, but nonetheless. The ending was a match, and that was pretty much it. Stephanie saying that was all Brie's fault, and saying that pretty soon Nikki will quit soon because, Brie ditched Nikki for Daniel, and yeah, so it was a good build-up, and I'm being honest with you guys, of course, the other night you had good old Flo Rida performing, and that was just horrible. I was like, the crowd was so dead. I thought they were like in the Impact Zone for a second. It wasn't Florida, but like, good God, like the crowd was so dead with Flo Rida performing. But then, and later on to Stephanie getting arrested because Brie Bella, I guess she got the cops. They say that she attacked the fans. Stephanie's like, oh no, she attacked me first. Cops are like, I don't believe you. We all have witnesses here. You're gonna go be arrested, ma'am. And then they read her rights, and Stephanie's like, ah. This feud, it's just sad that I'm more interested in this feud than the quote-unquote main event feud, the world title picture. Because this is actually entertaining. I actually want to see Stephanie McMahon, the Notebook, versus, Miss Bryan Danielson herself, freaking Brianna Colas Garcia. I want to see that match, believe it or not. So, I'm interested. You know what? I haven't been more excited with Divas feud in my ever, okay? And this is actually going good. Then you have Bo Dallas versus Damian Sandow, who was wearing a LeBron James Miami Heat jersey, and he was saying that he finally is going home, and yeah. This is really confusing. They're trying to make Bo Dallas the face here in this match. I mean, what the hell? I mean, even Jada King Lawler said I don't even know who to root for in this match. But, Bo Dallas versus Damian Sandow. Bo keeps on his winning streak, so what is he now? 18 and Bo, I believe? 17 and Bo? He was 18 and Bo. You know what? Woo. So speaking of Bo, you have his real life brother. Pretty what? They show on the app apparently how Bray Wyatt, Chris Jericho is getting ready for his highlight reel, baby. And Bray Wyatt basically his sister Abigail backstage, and the Wyatt family mugged him. And he got like a little typical promo right after the beating. So then he goes and does, basically invades Jericho's highlight reel with no Jericho. And, basically Bray saying that, it goes on forever, and that Bray says the war is his game, and he created war. And then he goes on and says forever, yada, yada, yada. And it's just like, okay. Obviously, like I said last night, after making my, Battleground review, Bray's going to kick Jericho's ass. So let's face it, SummerSlam. So I know a lot of people weren't a fan of the idea, like, oh man, Jericho usually lets people go over, he didn't let, Bray Wyatt go over. And in some way, it makes sense for Jericho winning. I mean, he just came off practically a year being gone. You need to hype him up so that Bray Wyatt, means something. Be like, oh no, it'd be Chris Jericho, it'd be Chris Jericho, it'd be before, you know what I mean? So, with that being said, we have The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler in a non-title match. And, I guess, I like The Miz, but I'm still not feeling this whole Hollywood Miz gimmick. I mean, it's just not for me, As a kid, I loved seeing The Rock do it, because, I idolize The Rock. But, with The Miz doing it, it's just like, okay, Miz's movies go straight to freaking Blu-ray, alright? It's not like they're going to the movie theater box office, making millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars now. It's just, let's be real with Cena. Nonetheless, these two had a pretty good match. Not surprising. Ziggler hits the zigzag 1, 2, 3, so, it kind of builds up to Ziggler being the #1 contender for SummerSlam, possibly for the Intercontinental title. That's alright in my books. So. And then we go on to a tag team match between AJ and Lee, the 12-year-old, Miss April Brooks, and Paige versus Emma and Natalia. And, this is the first time Emma's been on Raw since, a little incident. But, overall, not a bad Divas match. Wish God got a little bit longer, but still, you have 4 very talented women wrestling. That's fine with me. And after the match, AJ hits a Shining Wizard and then the Black Widow Natalia. Natalia taps out. Oh, yeah, they won. Remember, guys, they're frenemies. Nope. Because when AJ turns around, Paige beats the living freaking hell out of her and starts screaming, "This is my home. This is her house. This is my house." She's saying that. And it was just like, alright, finally we get the heel Paige. Hopefully, I doubt this because it's a totally different creative from, Raw/SmackDown to the NXT. But if they even show a little bit, at least a little bit of glimpse of, her being the anti-diva like she was in NXT, that's the Paige I think a lot of, myself, Paige fans enjoyed of her. So if they show at least quite a bit here with this feud between her and AJ, that's music to my ears, man. Speaking of music to my ears, we got Fandango versus Zack Ryder. And yes, guys, Zack Ryder appeared on Monday Night Raw. And, people talk about how Brock Lesnar ended the streak. Well, the streak was broken tonight. Zack Ryder basically going 2 years without winning a match on Monday Night Raw. How sad is that? Going 2 years without winning a match on there. And I know there was, very, very, very rare that Zack Ryder even appeared on Raw. But, I mean, it looked like Zack Ryder hit the Rough Rider, Fandango got his foot in the ropes, Layla just goes, swats it away, 1, 2, 3, and it's just like, then Layla and Summer Rae kind of give him a few pecks on the cheeks and a little bit on his face, and it's just like, alright, you're just making them to be total sluts now. First it was like, okay, maybe Lay Cool ripoff, a little low. Now it's like, what the hell are you doing? Alright, I know Layla's retiring soon. You literally had nothing for Summer, despite how talented she is. And it's just, I mean, yay for Zack Ryder winning, but it seems like Fandango is in a feud with, like, this feud between him and, his ex-girlfriends, particularly Layla and Summer in the situation. Kind of like WWE's version of John Tucker Must Die, alright? And the reason why I've seen that movie is because, trust me, if you have a girlfriend, she wants to go watch a movie, she's somewhat pissed at you, and yeah, I'm pretty sad, trust me. So with that being said, we're moving on to Ryback versus Big E and Kofi Kingston. I was like, what the hell? How many tag team partners does Kofi Kingston need? His career, yada yada yada. Ryback wins. But here's the highlight: when the match is over, I swear to God, Xavier Woods literally pops out of nowhere, and Xavier Woods comes out in like a red and white suit, and I'm like, since when did Xavier Woods steal freaking Brother Love's freaking suits? And basically praising how, like, saying that, oh, you can't move your head by shaking hands and kissing babies and yada yada yada. You gotta take it. You gotta take your opportunity. And you see Kofi Kingston and freaking Big E just going, and I'm like, oh my God. It took nearly at least 6 years, but Kofi Kingston might finally turn heel. Because this was just screaming like everyone was freaking out, saying the nation of domination, and it could be. I know, all seriousness, it could be. All we need to do is have freaking R-Truth, Titus O'Neil, and Darren Young when he gets back from his injury. I mean, ta-da, and maybe Mark Henry. He was in the original one, so why not bring him in this one? So it was just, it kind of psyched me up a little bit. I mean, in WWE, they probably won't go too far with this, but you know what? I'm giving it a chance. I'll see how it goes for next week. You know what I mean? So then you have versus the Great Khali. And before I go into those, I know earlier, yesterday, technically today's Tuesday, that Lana kind of went out of character. She tweeted saying that she apologizes for about her character and Rusev's character, that they didn't try to offend recent events going on in Russia and Europe and everything, and that plane being shot down. And I know it's all over TMZ, it's all over all these, it's getting a lot of publicity, and it's kind of good and bad. It's good because, okay, if you're not a wrestling fan, you want to at least check it out, know what the hell's going on. And bad, obviously, because it's getting controversial, so. But with that being said, I'll move on to this, and what do you expect? Rusev versus Great Khali, alright? You're expecting the Flash Classic? LOL, no. So Rusev wins with the accolade. Lana still looks hot. That's all I need to know. Okay. By the way, where the hell was Seth Rollins? Seriously. I know he was hiding from Dean Ambrose, but, speaking of Dean Ambrose, you have Joker's longest son versus Cesaro. And guys, you know what? Cesaro won a match in Monday Night Raw. We haven't heard that in a while. See, that was by disqualification because freaking Dean Ambrose freaking lost it. And don't get me wrong, this was a good match between Ambrose and Cesaro, and you probably would guess it was a good match between these guys. But, Ambrose's mind is just obsessed with, like, trying to kill Seth Rollins, basically. Literally kill Seth Rollins. So he just checked with the chair just to hold it out with Cesaro, for a picture of Rollins. And yeah, so then we head over to somewhat, I guess you could say, the main event, even though, there was no main event match. Because, I guess with no Cena around, you can't have a main event match, I guess? I don't know. So anyways, you have Gunther coming to the ring to announce the announcement, the most freaking obvious, predictable announcement, saying plan to see ya. So out comes Paul Heyman talking about Brock Lesnar. And Triple H announces that Brock Lesnar is indeed the #1 contender for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And you get this whole video and the way Heyman pumped up Brock Lesnar, you think to yourself, damn, this is why Heyman only works well with Lesnar, because he could not do this with Cesaro, with Ryback, to Curtis Axel, other other clients in the past. But here, his best and by far his best and greatest client, Brock Lesnar. The way he hyped him up, the way it had their video package of him ending the streak and everything, and all the damage, and that he's actually a threat to Cena at SummerSlam. It was kind of good, and like I said, overall, this Monday Night Raw was pretty good, very entertaining. A few nitpicks here, the whole Flo Rida, and then the fact that they took him this long to get Paige turning heel. Some of the little things that I wasn't a huge fan of, but at least they finally turned Paige heel, and they, you know, succeeded with other storylines like Bray and Stephanie, and talk about the main event being Brock Lesnar, and then continuing to building up other feuds as well. So WWE did a very good job tonight. See guys what happens when WWE is not lazy and they actually try. It turns out well, doesn't it? It turns out well. I'm telling you. Anyways, that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. You know what to do. Subscribe if you haven't. Comment down below. That's it for me. I'm going to bed.